Alright, so I know I'm not the first person to cover this topic, but come on, did you really expect me not to talk about this? So, if you don't know what I'm talking about, essentially, the writers for Doctor Who Series 12 have been announced, and in this video we're going to be dissecting who each of them are, and what I think about this announcement, I guess. For this video, I will be using an article from Cultbox written by Andrea Lafford, who I think wrote one of the previous articles that I've covered on this channel. The writers of Doctor Who Series 12, again, another spelling error because there should have been an S, were announced in Doctor Who magazine 545, in addition to showrunner Chris Chibnall, who has written 4 episodes for Series 12, including the opener and the finale. The writers returning from Series 11 are Head Haim, It Takes You Away, and Pete McTeague, as well as Vinay Patel, who did Demons of the Punjab. Now, the only writer that I'm happy about returning is Pete McTeague. The reason being is that Kablam was the closest thing we had to Doctor Who as it was, as everyone knows it and loves it, in Series 11. And to be honest, he did a spectacular job on the Blu-ray box set trailer, the Ace Blu-ray box set trailer. You could tell that he has a love for the program just by how many references he pulls. You know, the A Charitable Earth reference itself was a very deep cut reference. The only time I've ever heard it referenced is in Sarah Jane.
Oh, there's a Dorothy something. She runs that company, a Charitable Earth. She's raised billions. And this couple in Cambridge, both professors, Ian and Barbara Chesterton. Rumour has it, they've never aged.
Where she's basically talking about what happened to all the companions after they met the Doctor, and they mention a woman who started up a company and made millions. That's the only place I've seen that mentioned, so for them to reference something like that, you have to have some kind of knowledge of the show. But for the rest of them, I mean, Demons of the Punjab was just bland as anything, like most of Series 11, and It Takes You Away was probably the most bizarre of the Series 11 catalogue. But I still didn't think, despite its ideas, I don't think it executed them very well. And in addition, it stereotyped not only a terrible father, but also stereotyped the damsel in distress, disabled person, which happens quite regularly. We're often portrayed as people who need saving, or, I guess, help to be normal again. There's a lot of stereotypes that go into characters who are disabled that not a lot of people talk about, and I feel like they should, because despite their efforts to be inclusive, the BBC still leans into a lot of stereotypes of a certain demographic, which is also conveniently the demographic that gets the least representation in their diversity and inclusion strategy. Nina Mativa, Maxine Alderon, and Charlene James, are the new Series 12 writers. Now, I did some research on these three, and apparently none of them have any genre experience, which is already great. And in particular, none of them have written for Doctor Who either. This is one of the things that concerns me. This is what really concerns me, is the fact that none of them have had any genre experience. Now, you could say, well, just because they haven't had any genre experience doesn't make them bad writers, and I would agree. But, in my opinion, Doctor Who is not at a place right now where it can experiment with new writers. We had the whole experimentation thing in Series 11 with new writers who hadn't written for sci-fi before. And funnily enough, the only episodes that were good were the ones who were written by people who wrote sci-fi before. Obviously Kablam, and I guess Woman Who Fell to Earth was mediocre. Do you know what I mean? The people who have never written for Series 11 Doctor Who before were the ones that were the worst. Witchfinders stands out. Rosa was kind of written by both Chris Chibnall and Mallory Brackman, but to me, I've always said that episode feels like 2 different episodes happening at once, and the 2 styles feel like they're constantly clashing with each other. But that's just my opinion. The Series 12 directors are Jamie Stone, Lee Haven-Jones, Nida Manzoor, and Amelia Sullivan. were also officially announced in the magazine. Doctor Who Series 12 is believed to consist of 10 episodes. In addition to the 10 episodes, a special was filmed by Lee Haven-Jones. I'm assuming that's a Dalek thing, the thing that we saw recently filmed, because that was on the sort of final block of filming, so I'm guessing that's what that was. But you know what they say about assuming, it makes an ass out of you and me, so you never know. Doctor Who magazine is available at newsstands and online Thursday, November 14th. Some subscribers in the UK issue received number 545 early in the post. So that's really it. Now, as I said, the only new writer I'm excited about returning is Pete McTeague, because he was the one who wrote the closest thing to Doctor Who we had in Series 11, in addition to doing a pretty spectacular job with the season, I believe it was the season 26 box set he did, with Ace and A Charitable Earth. And as for the new writers, I'm not excited. None of them have written for Doctor Who before. In fact, something I neglected to mention before is Maxine Alderaan has The Worst Witch and Emmerdale on her agency credits. Charlene James is an award-winning playwright, a screenwriter who wrote 2 episodes of Discovery of Witches. Seems to be a recurring theme of witches. I don't know whether there's a certain reason behind that or something. I don't know. I heard a rumor floating around that there was going to be another witch-related episode, which I'm not surprised by the fact that 2 of the writers' most important writing credentials come from witch shows. And something I find interesting as well is Maxine Alderton, and Charlene James both have writing credits, but has only ever been a script editor. Nina Mativa, and yet she's writing an episode. That just seems a little bit weird to me. Script editors and script writers are 2 very different things. So the idea that all of a sudden they were like, hey, do you want to be a Series 12 writer, concerns me a little bit. A script editor is supposed to basically iron out any of the kinks. Whereas a script writer is supposed to write the script. Quite obviously, if you look at the title of the word. I'm really not with it today. But you know what I mean? It's interesting to me that she's been chosen to write an episode for Series 12 despite having no actual script writing experience. That really does surprise me and worry me a little bit as to the quality of writers that they had on board. If the best they could get was a script editor who basically edited 1 episode of Series 11 that one time. That concerns me. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you think that these writers are going to be amazing and I'm just a sexist and a bigot or whatever. Comment, like, and subscribe. Let's see if we can get this video to 50 likes. As I said before, I'm working on the 1-year anniversary as well as their paid reviews. And I'm also going to announce the next podcast guest now. Because I might as well, because I've got you all captive here. The next podcast guest will be none other than the fantastic Clever Dick Films, who, if you don't know who he is, has created some of the best Doctor Who retrospectives for each era of any YouTuber ever. They could quite honestly be official BBC documentaries. They're that good. And I would seriously suggest checking them out. But as I said, comment, like, and subscribe. I hope you've had a great day. Children in Need is tonight. I don't know how much Doctor Who stuff will get there. Obviously, we won't be getting a trailer now because that's on the 23rd. But I would be surprised if we didn't get something, even if it was just a message from Jodie saying, my new series is coming out real soon. Be sure to check it out. Watch this space, November 23rd. Yeah, it'll probably be cringy as I made it sound. But it's something I could honestly see the BBC doing. But with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you